Hi, I'm just going to put an update because we miss our shipping time in China because we got hit with the Chinese New Year's, which doesn't end to the 22nd, so I won't have anything sent to me to the 22nd, but that's okay. That gave me time to do other work and stuff like this, so we won't be able to do any tests to the end of the month, beginning of next month, which is going to be I'm going to receive my stuff probably on a first, second, right, of next month through UPS, and then we'll be able to do the test. In the meantime, I've been through the company who does the controller, sending me the software to see what there was in the software, how I can manipulate the controller, and you know, if it was going to be into what I'm looking for. And I was mind-blowing. I mean, this controller is literally you can reprogram this controller to turn just about any type of configuration on your stator. You know, it could be delta, star, it could be a ramp, it could be anything you want, the sequence, it could be the amount of leg on your stator and stuff like that. You can reconfigure the controller for that particular stator. So I was blown, literally blown. Some company who actually let me use their software directly into they gave me the pass to get to look into their software. It was like, wow. So at least we got somebody who's actually working on it right now. They have actually a motor we send to them, the Hyperdrive. So they're gonna work on putting in this, because nobody's working in China right now, nothing, right? So all the manufacturers all shut down. So when they open, they're gonna send me one of the controller right away. I got two companies sending me controller right away, I believe, and then they're gonna work on that motor, and they're gonna make sure they will have a controller and the program to go with the controller to go for that stator, the way it's winding. Right now, I had to change the winding of the stator, which I did. I rearranged the sequence as a propulsion system. In other words, a railgun, or the Japanese high-speed train they have. It runs on propulsion, electromagnetic propulsion. So that's what I configured. It works very well, very well on the 40 volt controller. I was getting 1300 RPM on it, smooth takeoff, smooth stop, smooth low RPM, smooth high RPM, no sound, nice, and tons of torque. Like when I say tons of torque, I was only pushing 60 volt into my controller, because it's a 40 volt controller. You can push more volt till you blow it up, like I did. But I did a lot of tests on per cranking up 10 volt at a time, how much RPM I was getting. I was getting 210 volt per 210 RPM per 10 volt of increased input into the controller. So that was a very small increase into the output, because there you have to take the 10 volt and split it in three, right? So that's 3.3 volt per legs, and I'm getting 210 RPM by doing that. So I get a 400 volt input controller, 400 volt output controller, divided by 3, like that's 130 volt per leg. So I think I'm going to be, and you have to understand, a hyperdrive, it's not like a regular motor. The volt goes up, the torque is right beside the volt. It doesn't flatten out. It goes all the way up. You can push those hyperdrive all the way up to destruction. They have no limit, right? It's not something it's limit. It's got limit on it. The only limit is you put the limit on it, so it does your work. End of story. So so that's the update for that. And then I also instead answering a whole bunch of email. Everybody's when. Well, and help me. I want you to teach me. I don't have. I would not be able to do that online. Okay, it's not something you can learn online. My best thing for people who want to learn about this stuff is to look through my video. I had many videos. I show them how to build a voodoo machine. Build that. play with that for a while. You're not going to hurt yourself. Just play with that and learn the difference between resonance and the crappy energy we're using today. And when you start understanding that, then you will be able to understand what I'm doing with hyperdrive and high voltage. You know, a lot of people just keep saying, you know, a lot of people say I took my video out of VIP. I didn't take my video out of VIP. VIP is no longer existing. They shut down. I don't know if you noticed that, but VIP is no longer in business. So that's why all my video VIP, they just went, disappeared. So I didn't take it down. And then teaching people, and it's not something I can do over the line. I mean, I can talk for people for hours, which I do all the time. I can talk, and so many people can tell you how long they can talk to me about stuff, and I try to explain the best. But you know, human mind learn very fast visually, not sound, not reading shit, right? They have to have their hand on it and visually see and touch the item, and that's how you learn really fast about what I would be doing. You know, don't do that. It's not gonna work. You won't like what comes out, right? If you don't listen to me, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna get zapped, and you will find out why you don't want to do it that way. This is the best way to learn. You're not gonna kill yourself. I mean, don't be afraid of having a hangnail here, right? So you know, and when I'm finished with that, right, and I got this thing working properly, I will put a load on it. I got a spare dryer, clothes dryer, right, which is 30 amp. So I'll put a full load on it. I'll give you the temperature, the amperage running out of the generator. I will have enough power. It will self-run itself. It will take so much amp of the generator, feed it to the controller, feed it back into my hyperdrive, and I will still have some power to plug in probably a hot plate for cooking stuff on it at the same time. And that's just from a 10 kW, right? And it's self-running. And I mean, everybody said, well, do you have any battery and stuff like that? It doesn't. After it's started, you know, it's very simple. We're going to be using a very simple process to start it. It's a battery, but the battery only activates the hyperdrive for 10 seconds, 10 to 12 seconds, just to bring it to the RPM. Doesn't take long. It goes up right away. Soon the RPM is at 3600. That battery is no longer in work anymore. It got transferred directly from the power from the generator into the controller. And this is very simple. I don't have to build stuff. I can buy stuff directly off the shelf and plug it in. So we don't have to worry about that. So right now the biggest thing is to get the parts, put it on there, test it. I'm pretty sure because I had the drum gave me with 60 volt of input in my controller, it was giving me a minimum of 50 horsepower. Well, this generator only needs 16 horse gas motor, which is, and then with the hyperdrive I probably only need about 5 to 8 horse on the hyperdrive to be able to do this generator. So I was getting 50 horse. I could not stop this drum. I put the brake on right at the drum when it was turning at 1300 RPM. And you have to understand, I'm spinning 50 pounds. This generator head weighs 100 pounds. And 50 pounds of that, half that weight is the rotor inside, right? So I was turning 50 pounds, you know, not under load, but I still turned 50 pounds there. That's a static load. And I was putting the brakes on the drum when somebody else was holding the RPM gun on the drum, and I was choking that drum, trying to stall it. And with everything I had, and all I could do is drop it 200 RPM. I was still above 1100 RPM. So we have to understand how powerful those hyperdrives are, because the reason they're very powerful is an hyperdrive is not a motor. It's a three-phase sine wave generator. That's why it's so powerful. Sine wave. Now, when you understand sine wave, it's not your regular AC currents. It's thousands of times more powerful than AC currents. Okay, and then we're using this design and we're pushing frequency, a resonance into it, which that's all he work on. So he reversed himself and created himself as literally a hyperdrive. It's not a motor, it's a hyperdrive, because we're using really high volt into it and very low currents. I mean, when I was saying it, so I could not choke that thing, I could not stop it, I can only slow it down 200 ppm. Do you know what my current was? Right? When I was choking it down, it never passed 4.8 amp. And I could not hold it. It was getting stronger and stronger because I could not hold it. So that's mean we're talking about 50 horse electric motor, because I was not trying to choke it on the shaft, because I know that thing is not going to choke on the shaft. Matter of fact, this little 11 drum, if you put 400 volt into it, you will twist a 2-inch shaft just like this. That's how much power that thing has, right? If it's soft steel shaft, you'll twist that off just like it's a straw. That's how much power, and you don't have to put a whole lot of amp into it. I mean, if you even push all the way up to 10 amp, you're going to end up with probably about 200-300 horse out of it, and probably 400 or 500 foot-pound torque, maybe more, right? So right now, I can run twice the size of that generator with that little drum, with the controller I have coming, maybe even bigger generated with that drum. So that's why we have to do the test, and that's why I'm trying to tell people, just, you know, like again, be patient. It's not a race anymore. You know, I'm done with the racing, because when you race, you screw up. You don't think clearly. You're rushing too fast. You don't do the tests. You don't do enough tests, and you're rushing too fast. So I'm not doing that anymore. You know, I mean, if it takes me another 2, 3, 6 months, be it. Because who else is doing it up there, right? Who else? I mean, if you know anybody who's doing it, well, point it to me or something, because I don't really see anybody really, you know, doing it out there. I mean, I have a lot of people working on my stuff and duplicating my stuff and learning about it. Yeah, I have a lot of people like this, but I mean, I don't see KG, you know, coming out of the hole right now. I don't see Bedini powering house right now. I don't see Kashi powering house right now. I don't. Where's everybody? I don't see James Murray powering house right now. I don't see Eric Dollar powering house right now. They're all talking about this energy, but you know, they don't understand where it come from, and when it come to manipulate it, they don't know how to manipulate it, right? Because they still try to manufacture energy, in which you can't. You can't manufacture energy, and you cannot destroy it. So what you're doing, instead of trying to manufacture something, why you don't just shift all your effort and try to manipulate the energy is around you? Because that's what it is. It's in resonance form. 2 types of resonance: high resonance, low resonance. Low resonance is negative, high resonance is positive. End of story. It's not something who you have to use mathematic equation and bullshit calculation. You know, anybody who comes here and they start throwing stuff at me, I said, are you using algebra? Because that's what advanced mathematics is. I said, then you will be lost for the rest of your life, because algebra reflects equality. And I've been saying that from the beginning. I don't even use calculation. Do you see any piece of paper with a whole bunch of calculation here? No, you don't. You don't see a blackboard or whiteboard? No, you don't. I don't even have a calculator. I got a calculator on my phone. I don't even use it. The only number I write down is the goddamn phone numbers, because I don't need it anymore. Everything is through words and image. That's how your calculation should be done, with using the same technique Tesla did. He had to have a picture. He was creating everything in his head. Okay? Everything was created in his head. And then he was doing hand sketch, not schematic. Tesla never made one schematic in his life. It was all hand sketch. That's why I say 90% of the Tesla's information out there is total fucking bullshit. It doesn't work. We've been having information from Tesla for how many years? We're still connected to the grid. But they're using the Tesla's technology to push this shit to the grid. Kind of a little ironic, isn't it? You know, we have to understand, you know, everybody says, well, how do you know that? Well, I know it because the light turns on every night. I turn my light on and it works. No. That's not Anderson that does that. That's not Westinghouse that does that. I mean, Westinghouse, they are the one have the patent of it, or they used to anyway. As far as I know, they still have it. But that's Tesla who created that. Same thing with the X-ray, same thing with the phone, same thing with communication, same thing. I mean, he even invented the algorithm for a computer. Zeros and one. Right? 0 off, 1 on. This is a high frequency generator. On off, on off. That's how you can creating resonance. You know, and the volt, how the volt is manipulated, right? And the difference between having a volt with a lot of energy, meaning potential. That's potential is the energy you want to look for, not amperage. Amperage, that's dirty stuff. Amperage, AC is manufactured and you. AC is manufactured in your pole transformer or your outline transformer, but what you have coming into the transformer is not AC at all. It's got nothing to do with AC. AC is the result from that energy going through the transformer with a 60 cycle into it at high potential. It will convert that, the transformer will convert that to low voltage with watts in it. Your pole transformer create the watts in the amp. See, if you own your pole transformer, like a lot of farmers does, they own their own transformer, stuff like this. Why are you paying the power, the power company on watts? Because when you're not using, that same power goes through your transformer, because you can't stay in a transformer. Even if you don't use any power, the power is still going through your transformer, goes through the plate, but all closed, the gate all closed, so they go through the plate and go into the return or the neutral line and go right back to the factory. See, they can't calculate. They cannot calculate really much how much you're using, because it's pressure. You're using only the pressure. You're literally using the material. Let's call it as a material. You know, they're sending or let's say, for example, the product. You're not really using the product. You're only using the pressure of the product, and they cannot calculate that how much you're really using, except all the way up to the manufacturer. Right? The manufacturer, the pressure goes down when you see your voltmeter going down. That's mean pressure. That's mean they have to turn the turbine faster to bring back the volt up where it's supposed to go. See, that's what you need a instrument technician in the power plant constantly to monitor all that stuff, all the pressure, and all the different places that the power plant is sending to the grid. All that pressure have to stay constantly. You know, dinner time, pressure goes down, so they have to crank it back up. After dinner time, nobody's using as much power anymore. Oh, the pressure gets too high. They have to be brought down back to the normal level. Right? It's all all we're using is pressure in the whole goddamn thing. And why do we paying for watts? Because if you don't use watts, that same energy never stop going through your transformer. It goes in and out. But they said, people said, there's no power on the ground line. It's the same fucking power is coming out from the top. But they removed the slash out of it. That's what a transformer does. And then when it's not used, you don't have a sine signal in it, but all your juice goes right back into that line to back again, and all they have to do is put cycle back into it. It's very small modification into it. So that's why a power plant have to be connected to a loop. It's got to go constantly, goes back to the power, right? And people use pressure. That's all they're using. But you know, this is what the power plant, you know, charge you, you know, through the nose for something is very barely nothing. So that's why I decided to create something so people can say, I'm going to use that instead of the power line. I mean, you can put a transfer switch into just below your meter box, or between your meter box and your breaker box. You can leave the meter there if you want to. You just transfer the switch up, and then you could use the unit to run your whole place, just like a normal system the electrician installed for backup generator. But my generator doesn't use fuel. It uses its own power. You know, and what more do you want? Right? What more do you want? You run on its own. You know, it's not magic. It's all mechanical, you know, and displacement of energy. Just like Tesla was talking about, right? When he went to court and he says, what calculation, or what type of calculation you use? He said, I use Asian all mathematics, and he put the word mathematic there just to fuck you up, because the word mathematic was not invented in those days. At the time, what he was calculating, he was using Bronze Age. Bronze Age calculation had no numbers. It was an exchange of volume or weight. They have a stick, a rope, 2 basket. You put 10 pounds of fish, you put 10 pounds of apple, you have a fair trade. Or you put a certain volume of this to a certain volume of that, you have a fair trade. It was no numbers, it was all volumes. That's what Bronze Age was. They didn't have numero. It was not invented yet. And that's what Tesla was using. It's a transfer of volume. You keep transferring the volume back and forth in different places. And what's happening is every time you do a transfer, you have a mutation of what you're transferring, and the mutation normally expand. Oh, now I'm making more than I started. I got more what I started because of the mutation through the process of doing your transfer, right? No one could figure out magnification and amplification. Jim Murray said he's got it, magnification and amplification. Well, I like to see you powering his house, right? I mean, when my work's there, I mean, it's not totally big enough for me. I would need probably about 20 kilowatts, you know, to power my whole house here. But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put a 30 amp load, as much load as that generator will be capable of handling. I'm going to put a dryer running full time, frying eggs, boiling water, whatever we want, and he supplies his own power. Then I'll you know, I will ask anybody, you know, if you can do that with yours. And okay, it took me longer than I thought. That was going to take me a couple of years, 2.5 years to do it. Now I'm into 5 years before I can pretty much realize everything out. But those guys will be on it for 30 years, for fuck's sakes. And working with a whole bunch of group of people. You know, it's not that many people who work with me. A lot of people, they're working on their own, duplicate what I'm doing, but when we're not really working together, you know, if they want to try it, they want to figure it out, stuff like, great, that's the best way to learn. And I promote that, because that's how I learn it, right? Because I didn't came, you know, I was very curious when I was a kid and all that stuff, but, you know, I was just as stupid as everybody else 5 years ago, because, you know, it didn't make sense. And then I started digging into it, and the more I dig into it, it was just like the opening a Pandora's box, right? It just got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into the lie. That's all I was discovering is the lie, because that doesn't work that way. Well, why they tell you it works that way? That cannot be calculated that way, because it doesn't make sense. You cannot reverse your calculation. How the hell you know if you get the right answer in the end of the day? If you can't reverse nothing, right? Calculation forever goes nowhere. And I didn't grow up doing that. Every time I did calculation, I have to reverse it to find out if I screw up somewhere. If I didn't screw up anywhere, when I reversed my calculation, I came back with the same goddamn number I started from the beginning of the day. Then I know all my calculation during the day was right. Can you do that for the advanced mathematics? Calculation that goes nowhere? Be my guest. Use it. You know? But anyway, so for all the people out there, right? I know everybody's suffering. I'm suffering too. Everybody's suffering. Doesn't matter what part of the world you are, we're all suffering. We've all been gouged. We've all been raped. We've been raped every day. Every time you turn the light off, you're getting raped. Okay? So it's not an history. And the people who don't have the power, well, you know, it will be coming up and it will be available to everybody. It's a very simple process. I will be able to supply the controller and the hyperdrive. If that's all you want, you can take that and put to anything you want. You can put in your car, you can put in your motorcycle, you can put in your boat, you can put in your house, power your house. You can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. All you have to do is use your imagination, because that's the only thing that's going to keep you behind everything if you don't have an imagination. Because that's the only thing keep man's behind or man's back. Lack of imagination. Right? Well, if you have imagination, you can literally do anything you want with that. You can pump water, can create powerful lights, can create enough power to create a small industry or a big industry. You have to understand this motor can be shrink down to make this watch run forever with no battery, right? Or it can be shrinking even smaller than that. You can go to nano size. Or the motor can power up a whole town. One motor can turn a 10 kilowatt, 20 kilowatt, 50 kilowatt generator, right? Oh, I mean not kilowatt, sorry, megawatt, you know? Because the source of energy you can produce with that is infinity. It can be shrunk down to nothing until you need a microscope to see it, or you can be built as big as you want. So only your imagination can hold you back. If you don't have any imagination, don't try to do it, because you're not going to achieve nothing. You have to have imagination. You have to be able to create some picture inside your head, build it, and make it work in your head before you start putting it together. If it works in your head for a certain amount of time and it seems, hey, let's keep on going there. It's not stopping. Then go in the shop and pick up whatever junk you have and do something with it and test it. Because that's what I did. Went to my pile of scrap and pull up some little pieces and put it together and light up a light bulb. That's how it started. Look at my first video. Right? Sound like a crazy man, but that's how I started. Crazy as sound. A goddamn drain pump from a washing machine. It went from a drain pump from a washing machine to a drain pump from a dishwasher, because they're better. And then from the dishwasher to a drive unit, a direct drive unit from a washing machine. And look what I discovered with that. Right? Anybody's capable if you have the imagination. You have to be able to dream. You got to be able to open the dream door and let it happen. Because without dream, we're back into a cave. Even the cavemen, I bet they were dreaming because they were drawing stuff on the walls. Right? Even that, they were dreaming. But now people don't dream. We way back further than the stone. The mass of the population have less intelligence than the primate. Doesn't say anything good about our population of this planet, right? When I say we're living in a world of stupid, damn, oh damn, I tell you, we're really living in a world of stupid. But we have to wake up a bit. You know, some will never wake up, but some of us wake up sooner or later. Hopefully it's not too late. So, but that's all I want to tell you. I know it's been long, a lot of talking again, but yeah, it's just a question of time right now, and I cannot help. I can't go any faster. I'm stuck with the Chinese New Year's, and that's the way it goes. So anybody who orders stuff from China and who deal with China, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's 3 weeks almost. It's might as well go to bed for 3 weeks because nothing's going to happen. So, but at least after that, thing will be start rolling again. I'll be receiving my stuff and doing some tests, and I know for a fact because I tested with my 40 volt, and it was mind blowing, literally mind blowing on the test. Never expected that much. But the sequence had to be changed on the drum, not on the drum, on the stator. And I also have in that drum when I got 50, I believe I get 52 Nadium 52, 54. I replaced the magnet in one drum, so I have one drum with really strong magnet, and I get 4 of those motor here on the bench. So I get a drum with regular magnet. I want to see the torque and stuff like this when I get the controller, and I'm going to put that very strong drum, strong magnet drum with the Nadium magnet in it, and that should increase a shitload of torque if I need to, which I don't think I need it, but I just want to find out. So since I'm doing experiments, that's my job, to find out if that's going to work and if it's going to blow up, right? Everybody says it's going to blow up, right? So I got to find that out if it's going to blow up, because if I don't find out, then someone will try it and it might blow up, and then you're going to blame me because I didn't tell them it was going to blow up. I try everything before I put it out. So all you got to do is be patient, and it's coming. I mean, I think we're so close. It's you know, I can taste it now, and all the tests I did, they all point to one direction. The direction is going to work. So let's cross all our finger. I don't get run over by a bus, and we will be able to have lights and whatever you want beside that. Okay, so be patient, and I will talk to you again. Catch you later.